bring them up. What's up, Brent?
Hi. So, Sky's at it again.
Interesting you bring up Sky first. But yeah, she is at it again.
Yeah, because a lot of these topics are repetitive. Sky, Austin St. John. I mean, we're talking about the same thing over and over. But it's I mentioned Sky first because you brought up new information about the guy who was scammed actually came up on, or he showed his video, and yeah, it's just I'm surprised he went the lengths that he did, because it's kind of like, wow, he's more generous than I would have been. So
What do you mean?
I mean, it's kind of like you offer a product and you don't receive it. That's a red flag right there. You usually, before you give money to someone, me personally, I would want to meet that person face to face and get a feel as to who they are as a person. Henry, we've met a couple times in person. So if you were to sell a t-shirt, for example, that says "Stay Resilient," I would feel somewhat more comfortable sending you money, and I'm confident I would receive the shirt. Whereas this guy has never met Sky, or had got to know her in a personal situation where he's able to get a feel as to who she is as a person.
This is true.
So it's kind of like, he was very generous, and I'm glad that he agreed with me about David Yost. I mean, at least we had some agreement there. I mean, I rewatched the replay. Like I rewatched the replay. I was behind on the live stream, so I had to rewatch some of the replay. Yeah, he had some nice words, but that's okay. I'm resilient enough. But yeah, I'm glad he agrees with me about David Yost, because David Yost also did a scam. If you really think about it, he also scammed me, because he used intimidation. He used authority and intimidation. That type of bullying. I consider that a scam as well. So I'm glad we're in agreement there. And then the Austin St. John thing, I know that's another topic that you like to address. Yeah, what he's doing, legal morality, facts over feelings. You mentioned a court, you're going to trial. Sometimes the courts are going to make a decision that you have to separate legality and morality. Snitching is very commonplace. It's called plea bargaining, and he's considered an informant. I think this is basic business law that they teach in university. He is considered an informant, and to inform about to get a reduce to avoid the possibility of more severe sentencing. So to pretend that Austin is doing something unusual in the legal system would be disingenuous. This is plea bargaining is very commonplace. And as long as he's telling and unfortunately, his informing, or what you call snitching, sometimes is not true. And that's where the problem lies. I believe there needs to be some corroboration of whatever Austin is saying. And it's just
some corroboration,
like supporting documentation, or supporting evidence to back up what Austin would quote unquote snitch on Corey Newman. And I'm sure Corey Newman would have loved to avoid jail time. I'm sure he had received a lot of advice, but I'm sure behind the scenes he was facing a much different predicament on his end than the other people. So he probably chose to fight it, because he's looking at his situation, and he's looking at a very different situation. So to pretend that they're all the same is kind of disingenuous. But yeah, snitching, being a rat, that's plea bargaining. That's part of the legal system, and legality versus morality. That's just part.
Rats take plea bargains, or what are you saying? If you ratting is the same as taking a plea bargain, is like A equals B, right?
What you guys consider rat or being a snitch, that is accepted in the legal, especially if what the person is snitching, if it's truthful information, I mean, that's just part of the legal system, and there is no evidence to prove that Austin St. John intentionally defrauded the government. Keep laughing, Henry. And
wait. So if I get the transcripts and he says that he intentionally defrauded,
that he accepted a plea arrangement. I know the narrative that you're pushing, Henry, and I know. I can't see the chat, but I know there's people like
transfers. Who made the wire transfers? Who made these wire transfers?
Henry, Who made these wire
transfers? Did Austin transfer this money? Does it say Cord Newman
transfer? Right. But the thing is, Henry, if it's more nuanced than what you're presenting, and you know this. I know the narrative that you're pushing.
I read the jury instructions.
Sure. You read all this stuff, but if there was evidence to definitively prove that he intentionally defrauded, actual evidence, we'd be looking at a very different situation. He'd be looking at jail time.
So you think out of the 22 people, the 24 people who were arrested, they didn't have no evidence to put Jason Geiger away? So they offered him a plea deal, like they offered every 22 other people that took the plea.
What deals. You're doing is I'm just asking the absence of evidence is evidence of absence. That you can't do that, Henry. And you know this. You're playing dumb.
They arrested him with no evidence against him.
That he intentionally, if they had evidence that Henry, you're laughing. I know the narrative that you're trying to push.
So
and that's
telling
fine.
Me the federal government arrested 24 people and offered 24 people plea deals because they didn't have enough evidence to convict if they went to trial.
To put them in prison for having evidence that they intentionally defrauded the government. If they had that evidence, Henry, we'd be looking at a very different situation.
So wait. So even the people who bought like sports cars that took plea deals, the government didn't have no evidence to convict them. Is that what you're telling me?
Where they should, if they had the evidence, it should have been presented.
It was all it was all presented in this document right here.
Well, the evidence of
cooperation
of to intentionally defraud the government. If they had that evidence, I believe that they would be in jail.
So wait, let's just go through it. Here, I do have somebody who took a plea deal. Let's see. This person is Alexander Eric Corostano. Here, let me show you right here. Alexander Eric Corostano, right? And they got 5 years probation. I'm hoping that we got some information on Corostano in here. Christopher, Aaron, blah, blah. I don't know this person. I'm trying to find Aristano. No, I got to go through and find it. Alphas, Michael Hill, Ty Burke, Mark Ashano. It must be one of these ones. Damn it. Hold on. I got another one. I got another person who took an agreement. Aristotle's is not unredacted, but they had to have gotten. So just going by this right here. Here, I'll show you. Going by this right here, Aristano likely got one of these $200,000 loans. And you're saying there was no evidence to convict, so they gave him a plea deal, correct?
Convict him of what? And what convict him of what? Of him being directly intentionally defrauding the government. There's a reason why people like Corey Newman, they're facing different predicaments, Henry. And
he took a plea deal. Not Corey Newman. Andrew Hill and Moran, the two top guys, took plea deals. So you mean to tell me they had no evidence against the two top guys, the two ringleaders, for this? The ringleaders right here, the defendants led by Michael Hill and Andrew Moran, executed a scheme to defraud lenders. You saying the government had no evidence to convict Michael Hill and Andrew Moran as the ringleaders, so they offered him a plea deal?
Where's the evidence, Henry? I mean, this is the thing.
Here, go right here. The evidence
is this the plea deal, or you have to show me what this document is, because I know, Henry, you present things, and
this is the superseding indictment. This is the indictment you present to arrest someone. You say, hey, this is the evidence that we have. Any transfer over $10,000 that the money was obtained by all of these people using a fraudulent PPP loan that is wire fraud. And I have the jury instructions that break it down. Of how they had to convict them. Where is it at? Give me a second. ASJ jury instructions right here. All right, so here is your jury instructions, right? Now, in order to convict, they talk about witnesses, what you consider proof or not, but what is not evidence. We want to say, hey, what do we need to convict? Credible witness, who you think is telling the truth. Impeachment, who you think is lying. Impeachment, not by prior conviction. We want expert testimony. Hold on. I was reading it today. Law enforcement, summaries, punishment. Okay. Indictment 1. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud, right? Let me just break this down for you. What does the jury have to find? For you, the jury, to find that the defendant is guilty of this crime, you must be convinced that the government has proved each of the following behind reasonable doubt, right? So in order to convict Court Newman, you and the jury, you must first decide that 2 or more persons agreed to commit wire fraud. That's one. If you don't have this step, then you can't go to the next one. Second, that the defendant knew the unlawful purpose of the agreement. That court was not like some sheep out here, a deer in headlights. And third, that the defendant joined the agreement with the intent to further the unlawful purpose, which is financial enrichment. If you meet all 3 of these, or if you feel the government provided enough evidence for all 3 of these elements, then you can convict them of guilty, which we do have the jury did come back with a verdict right here. As you can see, count 1, guilty. And also for reference, count 2, which is money laundering, guilty. Now, what do you have to do for money laundering? Let's go through it, because Austin St. John's was faced with these, but he took a plea deal because it was a slam dunk case. And let's go down to count 2. Where is it at? Count 2, conspiracy to commit wire fraud. What do you have to do for someone to conspire for money laundering? This conspires to commit money laundering right here. You go down first. The defendant and at least one other person made an agreement to commit the crime of money laundering. All right. Under this, whatchamacallit, under subsection C. Remember, 1 or more person. Court can't do this by himself. Then there's no conspiracy. It's just, it wouldn't be a conspiracy because it's just him doing it. Second, that the defendant knew the unlawful purpose of the agreement. Yes. And the third one, that the defendant joined the agreement willfully with the, make sure I'm reading the right one. Yeah, it's money laundering. Similar definition, but this is right here. The defendant knowingly engaged in a monetary transaction. The monetary transaction was greater than $10,000, which Austin St. John wired more than $10,000. The monetary transaction involved criminally derived property, which is the money from the government. The criminally derived property was derived from a specific unlawful activity, which is submitting a false PPP loan application. The defendant knew the monetary transaction involved in criminally derived property. You don't think that you would have to say like, oh, I don't think he did this by accident. He knew what he was doing. The monetary transaction took place within the United States. So you telling me You're telling me Austin was completely blindsided by this, and he had no idea he was participating in a criminal scheme to defraud the government.
Yeah, there's no evidence of that. So keep laughing, Henry. I know that you're Henry. I know we keep going in circles about this.
So when he transferred the money, where did he think the money came from? Where do you think the money came from?
I don't have access to that, but the legal system played out, and they could not pinpoint that the intentionality is critical in this situation. So, a false loan application, yes, you could do that by signing your name and approving something, and then finding out that could happen. But you could also, they need to also prove that there was an intention. That's absolutely crucial, and there's no proof of that.
What about Austin St. John accidentally signing a false loan application? Okay, fine. Let's say he accidentally signed a false loan application. But when he gets the money for the loan application, he wires it to other co-conspirators. He wires it to Austin St. John personally wires $22,000 to the guy who completed the application. How do you explain that?
Look, well, I don't have access to the bank statements, the documentation, and but Henry, at the end of the day, the court system played out, and the prosecutors offered a plea deal. If they had the documentation, the proof to show intentionality, then he would probably be facing jail time. Hector David Jr., there is proof, evidence that he assaulted someone, and that's why he is going to jail. When Marcus Jordan, there's proof of him possessing cocaine. He is facing charges. So there needs to be evidence.
Is him wiring more than $10,000 of money from the PPP loan? Is that not evidence?
The court system cannot definitively prove that there was intention, that he had intention to defraud the government. That we have feelings about this. I've said it before. It looks bad, but what it feels like, and we keep going in circles about this.
So what was the purpose of sending the guy 10%, the same amount that everyone else sent? Everyone else sent this guy 10%. Why would Austin St. John send him 10%?
I can't answer that question because the prosecutors clearly couldn't find that he did essentially that transaction also could be linked to intentionally defrauding the government. I'm sorry, we're going to go in circles about this. I thought you had to go. But you love this because it fits your narrative. It's good entertainment for you.
I mean, I think it shows how moronic you are when you say it's no evidence of 24 people getting arrested and 24 getting offered plea deals. And you saying it's because the government couldn't convince him. No, everyone took the plea deals because they didn't want to go to jail.
That's our opinion, Henry. That's an opinion that I have.
He would have been with Corey Newman serving 7 years if he would have pled not guilty. And all the top people would have testified against him because he knowingly defrauded it. But let's get to the super chats. I'm convinced Brent owns a Waffle House. Plea bargain does not represent evidence or imply guilt.
No, it doesn't. It does not. But there's a lot. Look, absence of evidence does not mean evidence of absence.
Convicted felon. Is he going to say he became a convicted felon because the government couldn't prove his case?
I mean, at the end of the day, we don't have the evidence is not there. And if it was, he'd be facing. You can laugh all you want, Henry. Go ahead.
Oh man! All right, Austin St. John provided reasonable intent through the course of events, not just the instance of the transfer. So was ASJ completely ignorant up until that point? At what point did ASJ realize he was a part of a criminal scheme? Even though, like I said, I got testimony from someone saying they all came up with this plan in Austin St. John's garage, and Austin St. John said he wanted to be a part of it. And that's so
you're smarter than the prosecutors. Okay, well,
you know what?
Trust me. These prosecutors, if they had the evidence, his ass would be in jail.
You don't think all of them would be in jail? All right. Well,
I would. If it was so easy, if they had the evidence, I think they would be.
You think you're of the opinion anyone offered a plea deal is because the prosecutors can't prove their case.
You put such extremes. I never said any or all plea deals. I'm just saying that the evidence is not there, and you know this, Henry. But you keep doing this, so going in circles with this.
They arrested him not knowing that they didn't have.
They arrested him because
why did they arrest him, Brent?
Why did they arrest him? Because he was involved. He wasn't like if you're caught in a situation like for example, a drug deal.
Okay.
A drug deal, for example, or like you're gonna be, you might be arrested, but if the evidence there's not everyone is has the same level of guilt.
Don't you have to have evidence to arrest him?
You have the evidence to arrest. I mean, they had something on him because he's the one that signed his name on the document on the loan application
and the wire transfers.
The wire transfer, yeah, but the thing is that upon looking at the evidence, is there evidence to prove that he intentionally defrauded the government, that he set out to do that? And apparently, it seems like, based on no jail time, it seems like the prosecutors they couldn't prove that. That's what it seems like. But
so how could they prove that for Corey Newman and not Austin St. John?
I don't have access to that information, but I'm sure the prosecutors do. They probably have more on Corey Newman because I'm just assuming they have more on him, that he was the one that actually intended to do what they're accusing him.
Do you think Jason Lawrence Geiger lied on Corey Newman when he said that that he and Cord and Andrew Moran conspired with others to defraud and obtain money by false and fraudulent pretenses?
This was the plea deal, right?
This is his statements of facts. This is what Austin St. John, this is not his plea deal. The plea deal will say how much time he's getting, which is sealed. But this is what Austin St. John acknowledges as being the truth with his signature right here at
right, because there's some sort of because that's what that's the agreement, and it's kind of like
him and his attorney said this is what happened.
Right, because there's some sort of agreement that they set forth, and it's kind of like
are you saying he lied to the government to get a plea deal?
I'm not saying that he lied to the government to get a plea deal.
Do you believe this to be true or not? This factual basis that Austin St. John signed his signature on, that his lawyer signed his signature on. Do you believe this to be a truthful statement or a false statement made by Austin St. John?
But Henry, I don't have access.
Wait,
I'm not.
Do you believe this to be true or false? Is this a true statement by Austin St. John? Or a
I don't have all
statement?
but what we do know is that
have the evidence. I'm saying, do you believe this to be a true statement by Austin St. John or a false statement by Austin St. John?
I can't answer that question, Henry. And
you don't know if he told the government the truth or not. You think he would lie?
I can't.
If you don't tell the truth, you're lying, right? You're either telling the truth or you're lying. It's one or the other. You're not like, well, it's kind of true. No.
What I'm saying is, like, I don't know. I don't have access to the evidence presented in this case. So all we do know is that
you have access to his factual basis. It's like him signing a piece of paper saying he punched you in the mouth and taking.
But that doesn't. But when you do these plea deals, you have to acknowledge certain things.
Factual basis that he acknowledged. You think he would acknowledge something that's not true? Are you saying he would acknowledge something that's not true?
Well, Henry,
I just need yes or no. I just need a hey.
I don't have the facts for this case.
You have this form right here where Austin St.
Factual
John,
that is not evidence, Henry. That is not evidence.
Well, why would they waste
Henry,
their time?
Come on, we're going in circles.
Why would they waste their time filling this out? You don't think this is evidence? You think if Austin St. John got on that stand and say he didn't work with Cord Newman, they wouldn't throw this in his face?
Henry, this is not evidence. This is not concrete evidence.
100%. This is his sworn testimony. This is concrete evidence. His firsthand testimony. This is evidence. because he interacted with these two people. And we got pictures to prove it. So you're telling me his sworn statement that's written down is not evidence?
There's no evidence to prove that he
is his sworn statement written down considered evidence? Yes or no?
I don't have the legal expertise to answer that question. So, and you people call me Walt, but the thing is, what we do know, Henry.
All right, man. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. He don't even want to acknowledge that that was his sworn statement. That's evidence. I had to. It was just like, bro, is his factual basis not evidence? I don't have the legal ram. Like, what is it, man? It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. Look, man, Austin did this shit, and I can't wait to get if I can get the court transcripts of him talking about it. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming out. I appreciate everyone who did everything they needed to. Everyone who donated, Dimrock. In Brent case, that was not for him. Like Brent's he's being retarded straight now. He's being retarded. He don't want to admit that his hero, Austin St. John's, a piece of shit, and he's a rat. But thank you, Dimrock. What does he say? SJ provided reasonable intent through the course of events, not just the instance of the transfer. So was ASJ completely ignorant up until that point? Brent won't answer the question. Because I think Brent deep down in his heart knows that Austin St. John is guilty, but you know, sometimes you got to be a contrarian at some point. All right. Anywho, guys, remember Austin St. John ratted.